do you call
when all that you see
are actors on your television singing off key?
What savvy, well-versed heroes can settle this score once more with TV. Welcome, Bajorans and Ferengis, to Once More with TV, a podcast celebrating TV musical episodes from the sublime to the subprime.
And definitively ranking them using every theater child's worst nightmare, math.
I'm your co-host, Alex Kovnatsky, he, him, and I am a Cole Porter enthusiast.
And I'm your co-host, Liza Truschel, she, her. And I think that Odo is the worst Star Trek character to ever exist.
Well, you're in not luck. You're in the opposite of luck. Luck is not a lady tonight. We're talking about Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Season 6, Episode 20, entitled His Way, released April 20th, 1998. Liza, we know your relationship with Star Trek and now your relationship with Odo. What's your relationship with Deep Space Nine?
I love Deep Space Nine. That's part of why I hate Odo so much, is he's such a stain on a show I really, really enjoy. Like, Deep Space Nine's very different from a lot of Star Trek because it's stationary, right? It's a station. Deep Space Nine is a waypoint next to a wormhole to the Beta Quadrant. And it's just there, and it's very different because instead of them fixing, journeying to strange new worlds, there are like much longer term storylines that have to do with they're over the planet Bajor, and this is an old Cardassian ship. The Cardassians were like this imperial, horrible people who occupied the planet of Bajor until very recently.
They had their own show, Keeping Up with the Cardassians.
Keeping Up with the Cardassians. It's way better because you just know they're reptile people. They don't have to hide it. But it's a really interesting show. It's also like this show, part of what's disappointing to me about this episode is I would call this show really invested in my favorite kind of Star Trek episode, which is holodeck shenanigans. Like, that's to me like my number one favorite thing you can do on a Star Trek episode. And this is such a bastardization of the word shenanigans. There are no shenanigans here. Yeah, I love Deep Space Nine. I happen to love the characters on it. The other problem I have with Odo specifically is that my favorite character is the one he's in love with, Kira Nerys. And she's amazing. She's a Bajoran. She was a revolutionary who helped end the occupation of Bajor by the Cardassians. She is now joined. She's one of the first Bajorans in Starfleet. She's doing extremely well. She's a major. She rips. She's so cool. It's important to know that she's really hot. In the long tradition of Star Trek aliens, we've put one prosthetic on her nose. We've been like, look, an alien.
She's got a fun earring.
Yeah, all Bajorans have little chain earrings, way predating that trend now. But yeah, so it's hard because she's so rad and Odo's just a cop, and that's his whole personality. He's like a complete nothing burger. He's the security officer of the station. He loves rules and has nothing going on underneath that. He's a changeling, so that's why he has to give credit to the actor, he's acting under about 6 inches of prosthetic.
Yeah, that thing is thick.
That thing is thick, but he's a changeling. He's very much this show's answer to Spock. Every single Star Trek show has to have one alien that kind of desperately wants to be a human because for some reason we think that other aliens would want to be like us, which is insane. He can literally be anything he wants, and he wants to be human, and he can't even do it right, which is why he's weirdly smooth and his ears are bad. It's a plot point that he can't quite figure out how to shape into a human. But he desperately wants to be human, and it's so boring. He's just such an unbelievably boring man. Anyway, yeah. I love DS9. I do. I promise.
How did you feel about this episode, Liza? I don't know if that's coming through at all.
Fucking hate this episode.
It's honestly so funny, and I'm so excited to tell you this, but I know nothing about Deep Space Nine other than I took a huge personality quiz once, and with all of the characters of all fandoms, and I got Jadzia Dax as my most compatible.
By the way,
everyone I've told that to. Dax. everyone I've told that to has been like, that is the biggest compliment you could ever get.
That's
and
a
so
really
like,
good one. That's really good. Jadzia Dax rips. She's funny in this episode. She's funny a lot. She's a trill and a symbiote. So she's been, there's a part of her that's lived through like 7 lifetimes attached to different bodies. So she's like this hot woman, but also like she was in her last life an old man who was like best friends with Captain Cisco. So they just still have bro time and like play poker together. And she still like just gives him shit like constantly. And it rips. It's so good. I'm so into her.
Yeah, so I mean, literally all I know is her kind of basic storyline because I was, I was interested in that, but I've never really watched this show at all. And I think because of that, I kind of like this episode.
Oh
I
my
think
God.
we're on
that's
opposite
a
ends of the
goddamn
spectrum
miracle
here.
because I was literally going to say this is probably like the worst episode I could try to introduce someone on because like there are also like my favorite, I have a couple favorite episodes of this show. One of my favorites is another Holodeck Shenanigans one where they all have to play baseball against the Vulcans.
Amazing.
It's like, that's like the shit we use the holodeck for on this show. And then so this one's so disappointing to me to like be in Vegas in a lounge. It's so boring.
I mean, Vegas in a lounge in space is shenanigans, right? Like that is shenanigans adjacent.
I mean, this does qualify maybe chicanery. I wouldn't call it shenanigans. Because it's not funny. Like, I don't know.
See, but the thing for me, and we can dig into the weeds, and we will, is Vic Fontaine is doing shenanigans the whole episode.
He is.
But I think it's funny to me that our other Star Trek episode you were extremely a fan of, and I was a little bit lukewarm on, and I feel like our Star Trek things are just swapped because you know way more, and I know nothing.
Yeah. Polarizing. Well, let's fucking get into it. What jazz standard do you want to talk about, man?
Yeah, all jazz standards. Apparently they, they've had this idea for a while. But the music that they actually used got approved very, very late in the game, so they didn't, make that many alterations and just hired actual jazz musicians to just kind of improv their way through a lot of the songs.
Okay, that I appreciate. That I really appreciate. It was pretty cool.
All of the people on stage are musicians, and they're really playing all of their stuff, which I thought was pretty fun. But
nice.
Yeah, I think I know the answer to this a little bit. How do you feel about jazz standards, Liza?
Actually, dude, I don't hate jazz standards. They have their time and place. I just don't want to hear like 6 of them.
Yes.
In a row. And I like, especially when like none of these performances are particularly inspired of any of those songs. You've heard them all before. You've heard them better. So there was nothing like really terribly exciting about this for me. I don't hate a jazz standard. I love me like an Ella Fitzgerald album. Like I think when you get like a super talented vocalist who like can play with their band, like these songs can really take off, and that's why they've stuck around so long.
Yeah.
They're these fun melodies, but you can do anything you want with them. And all of these, it makes so much sense that you said that they made these decisions late or these approvals were late, because we really are kind of doing the book versions of most of these.
Yeah, not much changes at all. I mean, there's some nice little solos from the musicians, but beyond that, everything
again,
is
but those would be
straightforward.
improv, right? So
yeah, exactly. I'm kind of with you. I like a jazz standard. It's not my favorite kind of jazz, by far, actually. But there are some very iconic songs with some really lovely melodies and amazing singers attached to them. So every song on this episode felt pretty boring and pretty nothing. I completely agree with that. As a musical episode, this is barely a musical episode. I don't think it really
we'll get
is
into
at all.
that with the commitment score. I think the only thing that makes it a musical episode is that we do have Kira sing once.
Yes,
I think
I
without
agree.
that, I wouldn't have counted it. I almost texted you 20 minutes in, like, I don't know.
Well, the first song starts literally at the very beginning of the episode. You're Nobody Till Somebody Loves You, most famously sung by Dean Martin. And we have this brand new character, I guess. Is he new in this episode? Yeah. So Vic Fontaine is a hologram singing with this band. Even that doesn't really feel like a musical number. It feels like scene dressing, right?
Yeah, 100%. It feels like we're doing a little like, you know, a classic Vegas lounge scene. It's clearly like where, you know, the holodeck has clearly put us like slap bang in the middle of like that 50s, 60s lounge scene era. This is a hologram who knows he's a hologram, which for a lot of Star Trek fans might be upsetting because that usually is not the case, because the last hologram that figured out he was a hologram was Moriarty of like Data was playing Sherlock on the holodeck for a while in some really classic holodeck shenanigans episodes. But Moriarty becomes sentient, and of course, because he is evil, starts to like take over the ship and leave the holodeck, and like all of these things that holodeck people should not be able to do. And that is, of course, DS9 and Next Generation are happening at the same goddamn time. So it would be a huge deal that a holodeck person knew who they were. That's massively dangerous. And last time people died. But okay, it's fine if he's just a lounge singer.
Yeah, you cleared up a lot of things for me right there. First of all, I didn't know that Deep Space Nine and Next Gen were happening at the same time, because I was like, oh, Worf is here?
Well, they overlap a bit because, you know, Worf comes on later and Chief O'Brien leaves TNG to go start DS9. So it's like there's a period where they overlap.
Yeah.
But O'Brien was fucking there when Moriarty was sentient and would be like, what the fuck, guys? Like, we went over this.
It's funny. Again, I know nothing. It was purely funny for me to be like, one person's like, wait, he's a sentient hologram? Like, that's a problem. And then they just skate over it. Then meanwhile, Vic is like hacking the comm system and like appearing
like,
out of the
oh my god,
holodeck.
this is so dangerous. Like, I guess we're lucky he's benevolent because holy shit.
I found it incredibly charming that he knew he was a hologram and didn't care about it at all.
Yeah.
I want to talk about Vic Fontaine. How did you feel about him as a character at all?
Well, I mean, we really like a lot of this episode is very reliant on him, which is a risky thing to do with like a brand new character. I think he's fine for kind of what he is. Like, he's a fine singer and he can kind of do that that era Rat Pack kind of guy. Like, he really has that like character down. But again, I think I was so annoyed that he's like sentient that I was kind of like tuned out. And, you know, he kind of does this whole like, I'm going to teach you how to charm women thing, which is usually not my favorite, but okay.
Yeah, totally. It's to me, he was very Lorne coded, Lorne of Angel fame.
Oh God, I fucking wish this had been Lorne.
Because it's so
funnier.
Weird. Lorne's definitely funnier, right? Lorne is completely different, but Lorne does this thing where you sing for him and he can like tell you about yourself. And this guy kind of does a similar thing. He's like a jazz singer, but also can tell people's relationships.
He's
like, is that a superpower?
Extremely insightful. Yeah, he's extremely insightful. He walks right up to our team and says, you know, knows that like Chief O'Brien misses his wife, but is distracted by the hotness of the hologram ladies. So he's really in there, which is wild.
I like the superpower of jazz singers having some weird kind of insider perception into people's thoughts and feelings.
Which is wild because most jazz singers I know are obtuse.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Wildly obtuse people, as a rule.
Can you explain to me how do holograms like shake hands and interact with microphones and, you know, touch physical things?
It's not really that well explained. The real answer is blah, 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 photons, blah, blah, blah. End of sentence. I mean,
sufficient.
Like, they'll make up some shit for you, but yeah, you could touch them. It's fine.
For most of this episode, we don't really get a lot of songs, right? We only get like kind of 4.5-ish songs. And all of them are pretty much exactly the same and feel more like scene dressing than anything else. I wonder if we can even just talk about all of the musical numbers in one blank slate, except for the one that Kira sings.
I think we kind of can.
Yeah.
Because for the most part, they're all sung by our new character, who's the crooner, Vic Fontaine. They're all pretty much mid. I won't lie.
Yeah, it's not even that they're mid. It's just that they aren't really even the focal point of the scene, right? They're just kind of
they're
happening,
not.
and they don't really
They're
have
kind of
anything
happening, yeah.
to do with the plot or moving anything forward. It, like I said, it really feels like set dressing more than anything else.
Yeah, I mean, you could say that sometimes with the things he's like, if we're starting on "You're Nobody Until Somebody Loves You," that could be talking about Odo, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, he is nothing and will always be nothing, but maybe if Kira loves me, will be something.
Actually, I want to pivot. Let's talk about Odo really quick.
No, why?
Here's the really funny thing is that I can totally see now why you hate him and why he's annoying. Me coming into it knowing nothing, I was like, oh, this is the Spock character. Aw, he has trouble accessing his emotions. Hey, that's really nice that this jazz singer is helping him access his emotions. Look at him play piano pretend and having a fun time. Like, this is so sweet.
No. By the time you've sat through 6 seasons of this exact beat, I promise you'll be as annoyed as I am.
I'm sure.
It's also my one of my like least favorite things is when we just reward a man for pining after a woman for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you and I have talked about this off mic a lot. Like, there is a right way to do that. It's Styles and Lydia and Teen Wolf, and everybody should go watch Teen Wolf because he stops revering her and becomes her friend, and then they fall in love in a genuine way.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not resentful of her for having other relationships, nor is she resentful of him for having other relationships, blah blah blah. Kira has multiple love interests throughout the show, all of whom are more interesting than Odo, but because we have to do, well, there's one I hate arguably maybe more than Odo. She's like, there's like a brief time when they're trying to pair her off with like a Cardassian and it sucks. I'm like, don't do this. Anyway, all that said, like at this point, it's been like 6 years of him. It's just that storyline of like, this man is entitled to this incredible woman because he's waited.
Yeah.
And like, no, you aren't. Like, she has other shit going on. She's getting it on with the first minister of her fucking planet. Like, good for her. I don't particularly like that guy, but come on. You know? Just because he waited doesn't make him anything.
Yeah, I completely
and so
agree.
yeah, this beat, the thing is that it's really interesting that you haven't seen the show before and you're having a different response, because I think a lot of my response is that this beat by this time in the show is so played out that there's nothing new in this episode for me. We're just watching the same dynamic over and over and over.
Yeah, it's interesting to me too, because it's even so much less about his relationship with Kira for me than it is his relationship with Vic, and just having a mentor figure be like, hey, don't be nervous, just try to have fun. Like, you know, try to be like a weird little guy pretending to play piano. That's awesome. Like, don't care so much about being so serious. And I just like those kinds of relationships. I like when someone is teaching someone to be not a stick in the mud.
I wish it would work. I wish it would work. This guy is a stick in the mud. That's entire personality. It's
Totally.
so irritating.
Totally. But I also, the dynamic of Vic saying all of these references that even are over my head, and Odo going like, I have no idea what you're talking about, is funny to me. And so
That is good. Odo does occasionally, because he's so disconnected, we do occasionally get good jokes like that.
yeah. Like Vic has a
where he's
moment
just like,
where he says like, come on, how do you get to Carnegie Hall? And he goes, I have no idea. And I just thought that was really funny.
It's a good joke. It's a good joke.
Yeah. But yes, all of the songs are pretty mid and boring. I think the only thing we can give Come Fly With Me is that it's the first time Odo seems to be smiling. But the real great number, I mean, the only number that is really exciting is Fever. And Kira kills it on that song.
She's amazing.
She's
She's amazing.
so good.
Yeah. Miles and miles beyond anything Odo has ever been capable of in his sad little life. But yeah, Kira comes in. Well, it's a hologram projection of Kira named Lola Crystal. That's insane. And, you know, long debate could happen about the ethics of replicating a person, you know, and then dressing them up and making them do things in a holosuite, which we get around because I guess Vic did it again, demonstrating an enormous amount of power.
Crazy amount of power.
Enormous. Very scary. He got a replica of a living person who works on the ship. He should not be able to do that. It's on, of course, like, holodeck shenanigans often involve other members of the crew in holodeck form who don't know that they're there in holodeck form. The joke that they make here is actually a reference to a really good episode of holodeck shenanigans where Dr. Bashir, who's the one who led us here, pretends to be James Bond and like so Kira's like the Russian villain in that one, and it's very funny. So that's why you said it was hard to get rid of her Russian accent.
Oh, I was curious about that because I was like, she doesn't have a Russian accent.
Yeah, so that's like a reference to another episode. But yeah, I mean, ethics of that aside, she looks great. She sounds great. Like, she really does kill this. She's much more engaging. Than Vic is at any point in this show.
Fun insider baseball on this. Apparently, her mom, the actress who plays Kira, her mom was really good friends with Doris Duke and would have her over. Doris Duke is like, I think like some heiress of a tobacco fortune, like some big socialite who probably has a lot of skeletons in her closet for whatever reason. But she would come over and play piano with her when this actress was like 9 and specifically sing Fever. And, you know, she has fond memories of that. So she chose like, hey, can I sing Fever? Because I remember the way Doris Duke would sing it, and she was like replicating that, which is pretty fun. I think that's like pretty cool.
Yeah, that is fun. No, she does great. She puts like real feeling into it. I mean, part of the reason that the other songs feel like set dressing is that like Vic isn't emotionally engaged in any of them because he's singing them for his job. Like, so it's a very different, he's literally meant to provide background music while people eat their dinner.
Yeah.
He is not meant to take center stage. So in a way, the actor is doing exactly what's fucking asked of him. We're not criticizing him in that. Kira is allowed to, because she is a main character, like fully engage with the audience, with us, with Odo in a really different way. And she really does steal this episode. And
I mean, even beyond that, she just has an insanely good sense of rhythm. I think the thing people forget about Frank Sinatra and a lot of these other jazz singers is that their voices sound amazing, but Frank especially had this tendency of like being just behind the beat in a way that was so cool and so like, I don't know, gentle and easy. And she does the exact same thing, and it's kind of amazing.
It's that really magic. You're exactly right. It's a magic trick that some jazz singers have where they make this sound easy. Like they're just doing this casually.
Exactly.
You know?
And the flirting was pretty good from her, too. Like, flirting through singing and flirting after that scene. I know that she's a different version of herself, but that, you know, hats off to that actress. I think she did an amazing job.
No, she's great. And on some level, I do think it must be really fun for these actors to get to play an entirely different character every once in a while on, like, holodeck episodes. Must be a really... I don't know. To me, that seems like a very joyful way to break up playing the same person for like 7 years.
I also, the moment a little bit later, I know we're kind of skipping around a little bit, but the moment a little bit later when they're actually having their dinner scene and they kind of have different information about what's happening, was really slow and patient. I just really liked that scene a lot. Like, I like the way that they chose to have the dialogue be a little bit awkward and a little bit slower. It felt like I was watching a play. But I assume...
In that case, I do really recommend Deep Space Nine as a whole. In terms of shows you have to be patient with, the intro, which we didn't talk about, it's about like 9 minutes long, and it's just exterior shots of the spaceship.
Yeah, that's a long one. It's not Twin Peaks long, but that was a long one. I was like, okay, this is still going.
It's long because Twin Peaks, there's other stuff going on. Like, at least you cut to a bird, a waterfall, and this one is just different angles of the fucking space station.
Well, also Twin Peaks has maybe the best song of a theme song ever.
Obviously,
I mean, so
obviously.
Good. But yeah, I really liked the way that they set that up. And even I'm sure you feel differently about this, but even Odo going to dance with her, I thought was like pretty surprising and pretty bold of him in a way that was new and different for his character.
I mean, it made my stomach turn.
Something that will definitely make you happy. Apparently that kiss that they have at the end of the episode, they like did one take of it, and that's the take that they have that's like that's there because the prosthetics were just a mess, and it was really, really difficult to make that happen. And the actress who plays Kira was like, it was maybe the worst kiss I've ever had.
That's really funny. Yeah, I can't imagine those prosthetics were fun to kiss with. Or, I mean, again, I can't pronounce his name. Rene Auberjonois, the fucking French Canadian. Another reason Odo is a monster to me. Just kidding. But I can't imagine it was easy to eat Offset either. I think about that sometimes when I'm watching him. I'm like, do you just have to drink everything through a straw? Like
That
once
sucks.
you get through prosthetics in the morning? And then how long does it take? I mean, just brutal in terms of, again, having to act underneath all that too. They did make it easier by not giving Odo a personality.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that made it a lot easier for him, I think.
Yeah, totally. I want to go back to the ethics of everything Vic does. The one thing that came to my mind when I was watching this, because he's ethically wrong for creating this version of Kira to begin with, but then he's also ethically wrong for, tricking Odo into thinking that this was not the real version of Kira that he was having dinner with.
Yeah.
But I was also thinking, like, this Vic guy apparently knows everything about people's relationships and feelings to one another. Like, did he do the math to be like, this is actually literally the only way Odo will talk to Kira about his feelings at all?
I think we have to assume that. I think we have to understand that, like, he knew that there was no fixing Odo's, like, crippling fright and anxiety when it came to expressing anything to Kira, and that he could only do it if he believed it wasn't real and that the stakes were lower.
Mm-hmm.
Which is another reason he doesn't deserve Kira.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm sorry, but like,
yeah, totally.
First of all, you shouldn't be afraid of the person you love. That's bad. But even if you do have anxiety and expressing your feelings is difficult, you have to do it. We all have to do it. We're people. You find a way that works for you. Your way doesn't have to be that you think they're not real. I don't love that as a way of getting over it.
Yeah, me neither.
I think in order to deserve someone as bold as Kira, you need to find the guts to just tell her how you feel once.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, again, something we've watched him struggle with for 6 episodes. So this is, like, annoying that they kind of just end up... It's 6 episodes, 6 seasons, sorry. So it's annoying that they kind of just give him a cop-out at the end.
Yeah.
Like, don't worry, he never has to do that. We haven't given him the proper character development to let that happen. So we're just going to skip over it.
That's so true. That's so true. And it's so funny rethinking about this now, because during the whole episode, I'm really in the mindset of like, oh, he's an alien. This is not how his species works, right? Like, nobody asks anybody out from his planet. And he's like learning how to do this. But you're right, it's the 20th episode of the 6th season. Like,
yeah, again, this would be fine if it was season 1. Like, I'm okay with that kind of, but because he hasn't, again, had that development, and like, he's been living among these people for years and years and years. He's the only one of his kind that he knows. Of course, there's like always, with your Spocks, your Datas, your Odos, you get a lot of like, oh, I'm the only one. I don't know how to behave. I'm in this group full of like mostly humans. I have to figure out how to interact among them and stuff like that. But yeah, he's been here like almost 7 fucking years, and he can't say, hey, I like you. Like, no, get it together, dude.
Yeah, it's a really, I mean, this is a more interesting discussion than I thought it would come to, because it is one of those tensions between like, hey, you weird guys need to build up confidence somewhere to, get the courage to talk to people. And that's a good positive thing that we should be building up. But also that doesn't mean that they deserve a relationship with anybody, right? That's step one.
There's a line between getting over social anxiety, which is huge and difficult and very real. And as someone who has struggled with social anxiety, I don't want to minimize that. But there's also, you don't just get the girl because you waited long enough and then you were tricked into telling her you like her.
Yeah, that's wild. That's wild.
Also, she was just on a date for 3 days.
Yeah.
She just had an overnight with a different dude. Let it go. Be happy for her,
Yeah, I mean that's the thing that bugs me the most, right? It's that possessiveness or entitlement to have a relationship with somebody. You can feel sad about it. That's absolutely valid.
Totally. But if you're really their friend, you move on.
Yeah.
That's always my thing is there is no friend zone, because if you're waiting for someone to be out of a relationship so that you could bang them, you're not their friend.
Yeah, totally.
The friend zone is fake. It doesn't exist, okay? Because you're not a friend if you think you're in it.
Exactly.
Anyway.
Is there anything else you want to say about this episode? I feel like there's not really so much to talk about.
No, I'll just throw out there that Worf would have preferred a Klingon opera, and so would I. I would have rather watched that episode. That sounds awesome. I would love to watch that.
What do you think a Klingon opera sounds like?
I don't know, and that's why I want to know. It must be a lot of shouting. I can't imagine it's a terribly musical thing. I don't know, but I really want to see it. I bet it's about honor. I mean, that's the only thing it's about. I'm sure it's about honor and war.
Is a Klingon opera just like Roman gladiator Colosseum shit? There's actually no singing. It's just watching murder.
Dude, possible. I would still go. Yeah, sounds awesome.
That still sounds rad as hell.
We do get our main Ferengi, Quark, who runs this, casino in the middle of the station and is therefore our main place to hang out. I just want to shout out that he's played by Armin Shimmerin, who is the principal in Buffy that gets eaten by the mayor.
Oh, yes. I was like,
yeah, that's why you
so
vaguely
familiar.
Recognize that guy underneath those enormous ears.
That's so funny. Well, it's nice to see him be a nice guy, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, Quark, nice guy, that's arguable. But, I mean, the Ferengi I always have, that's a different podcast. But the Ferengi I always have issues with. One thing I love about the Ferengi is it's a relentless joke that they are relentless capitalists, because it's so silly to be a capitalist, especially in this future era where capitalism has completely been abandoned by all other civilized groups of people. And so there is a funny moment where he's you've had years to negotiate this merger with Kira. He's putting it into capitalist terms. Ferengi, less funny is their relentless sexism. It's just not quite as funny.
Sure.
As the show tends to think it is a lot of the time.
Woof.
But yeah, no, I mean, there's not a ton more to talk about, I don't think.
I will say anytime Jadzia Dax was on screen, I was like, oh, damn, she's awesome.
She rips. Jadzia Dax, okay, I just have to, I don't know if I should warn you about that. I guess you should watch Deep Space Nine.
All right, that's my homework.
No, she rips. The problem is not Jadzia. The problem has never been Jadzia, and it won't be Jadzia.
Got it.
She rips.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else? Any other last bits?
No, I think I'm ready to score this.
I'm so excited to score it. Let's fight.
Let's fight.
All right, kicking off the scoring, as always, with general vibe, an interesting one here. Enjoyment level, aging, problematic. Is it a good episode? I think you and I feel differently about this.
I think we do too. My most, if I did a word cloud of my notes for this episode, the largest word in the middle would be bored.
That's so funny. For me, I do like this episode. I think it's not a musical episode. I felt pretty charmed by it, but I can understand how it's infuriating if you actually watch Star Trek. So it puts it as us at a kind of a weird place.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think you and I would just have different numbers. So it's possible we need to do a personal ranking style. We just average our two numbers out.
Yeah, I think that might make sense. I mean, I think I'm probably at like a 6 or a 7 on enjoyment level or general vibe in general. I think the things that don't work for me are obviously the kind of sexist undertones of it all. But I do really like that this Frank Sinatra clone is telling this guy to forget about this other guy that she's with and try to have fun. I like that part of it.
Yeah, and for those exact reasons, I'm going to give it a 3.
So let's say 4.5. That seems reasonable. Okay, next we have the music itself, which obviously is all found music, not too much changed in arrangements, but kind of interestingly, it's done in the style of what the song is supposed to be, which is you give a bunch of band players the real book for it, and they just play the chords and improv over it.
Yeah, and that way it is very honest.
Yeah.
And again, like, we said the performances are a little uninspired. They kind of should be.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's not going to be a high score because it's found music. We didn't really do much to it. But, you know, it's listenable. It's exactly what lounge music is supposed to be. It's supposed to be background music for the conversation you're having.
Yeah, I think really it's like a 3 or a 4 for me. I think it really only gets points for having the actual musicians on stage.
I agree. I think a 4 is right here.
Yeah. I forgot to mention, I do like the part where all of the jazz musicians are like looking at Odo and being like, "Come on, have fun!" like you're doing it. That felt authentic to me. Lyrics, interesting boat. Also, kind of the same thing here. They don't change any of the lyrics.
We even said during this that part of the problem with having set decoration songs is that, and having them all sung by a character who is not a character, and like I think he might appear in one more episode of the show at most. Like they do basically, like maybe some of them are oblique references to things Odo is experiencing, like that I've got you under my skin and you're nobody till somebody loves you, but they're really not contributing to any character development or like advancing of the plot or anything here.
Yeah, for me, lyrics I think fall lower than music. I think it has to be like a 2 or a 3.
I'm saying a 2.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think that's right.
Barely pertain. They're hardly germane to any conversation.
Exactly. Dancing is next. There's only one moment of dancing. And even though it made your skin crawl, I thought that dancing was really cute.
What I will say about even though my skin is crawling, I think that the dancing scene, I think part of it works because Kira, I thought the acting on Kira's part was really great. She starts with this like stiff arm because she'd be unfamiliar with this kind of dancing, and Otis just like grabbed her arm, so it's stiff all the way out, and it slowly curls into him as the scene goes on. And so yeah, actually I do think that if you ship Kira and Odo, we're not friends, but I get why you would like this scene.
To be fair, I don't ship them. We can still be friends.
I know. Sorry. That you was the royal you.
I know.
That is not at you. I would never accuse you of that.
Yeah, so not really any dancing at all besides that moment. So it's going to suffer for that alone. But that moment's nice. I don't know where else they would put dancing in this kind of framework of an episode. But I
mean, you could have had showgirls.
That's true. Yeah.
Or something. I mean, this could have been a slightly jazzier lounge rather than like one we found on the studio lot.
I do think having people dancing to this kind of music would have made it seem even sadder.
Yes, I actually think that's true. I think it would have been really the saddest showgirls you ever did see.
Yeah, totally. Space showgirls. Like a 3? It's better than the lyrics, I think.
Yeah, I think 3 is right.
Performance is interesting. Vocal performance, acting performance. I do think that Vic does a good job of like evoking a Frank Sinatra or a Dean Martin.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's fine. I think it's totally passable, and but nothing special. Whereas Fever is very special. I think that's really good.
Yeah.
And I think the acting is pretty great all around. I don't think I have any criticisms with the acting.
No, the acting's pretty solid. I think you're right. And we kind of talked about how, Vic's job is to emulate. Like, even if he were a lounge singer of that time, his job is to emulate other more famous crooners,
Mm-hmm,
right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I think he completely delivers on what's asked of him. He's got a lovely voice. He's
Mm-hmm.
got a feel for the music. He's very much, again, like nailed this sort of character.
And I think it is like a choice to have him be a little bit more understated and not, as performative as like a Lauren from Angel, right? I think that is his role.
Well, he'd steal scenes and he's not the emotional focus.
Yeah.
So he can't do that. So I think the actor he delivers exactly what we need from him. There is a world where he could do something more showy, but it would be not helpful to the episode.
And then I think it also would take away from Fever, right? Fever being so amazing. Honestly, I think Fever alone kind of bumps this up to a 9 for me, because I don't have many criticisms about the performance. I have criticisms about the episode. But
yeah, no, I actually agree. I think this is where this episode, I can give it a 9.
How much did that hurt you, Liza?
A little bit.
I could just see you.
Yeah. Saw the light go out of my eyes a little bit. But yeah. No, I have to. This is a show where we are objective and we're using science and it's super specific and I have to be honest. I have to be honest. And the performances, science hurts. Science is a bitch sometimes. And we all know that. And yeah, I mean, I have to admit that performances are not what I hate about this episode.
Hey, well, interesting. Our next category is writing.
I hate it.
Now, hear me out. I actually think the dialogue is pretty good in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
I think the like plot is a problem, right? I think there's a lot of problems with the plot in the way that it ages or what it's trying to say about relationships or things like that. But I think the little goofs that Vic makes that I don't understand, I think are pretty funny.
Yeah, no, Vic is pretty well written. It's, we had to, like, if this episode is about Odo's emotional development, we had to anchor it on someone more interesting than Odo. And I think that says a lot. And I do think Vic is fun. Again, like, some of my writing comes down to, like, not only, like, the implications of, like, relationships and that kind of dynamic, but also, again, like, the relationships to the rest of Star Trek lore, like having a sentient hologram, like, really bothers me. And I think it's also telling that Odo has no fucking friends who can help him, right?
Yeah.
Because everybody else is done with his shit.
See, it's funny. That's another example to me of like, oh man, this guy doesn't have friends. He needs a friend. But you've spent 6 seasons with him, and it's
he lives with all of these people.
And to me, that's really sad that he doesn't have a friend.
Yeah, it is sad, but he brought it upon himself by being a fucking sad sack all the time.
Yes. That makes complete sense.
And getting them all in trouble for like doing regular Star Trek things because he's a cop and he's really annoying.
Totally. And also, to your credit, I didn't feel this way, but I do think there is something with the pacing that makes it feel boring or could feel boring to people watching this.
Yeah, I think just like part of that is even that the songs don't vary enough.
Yes, totally.
But I do feel that a lot of this is a bit repetitive. Kind of feels like we're really just using the 2 sets we have access to this week.
Yeah.
the lounge and Quarks.
I mean, this is more of an issue with commitment, but it really does feel like if they just had Vic sing one number and have Fever happen, I think it wouldn't be a musical episode, and then we could all not feel like we have to force more songs to happen that don't really have anything to do with the story at all.
100%. I mean, another issue I just have with the writing of this episode is that Cisco isn't in it, really. We, like, see Cisco for, like, 1 second, and I fucking love Cisco, and he would be great in a musical episode, and I'm annoyed that we just have him snapping his fingers.
Yeah, everybody's snapping so much. It's so weird to me.
Yeah, it's so weird. So, yeah, I mean, like, for me, the writing is, like, it's just a bit, I wish it were paced a little bit more interestingly, and I for me, just, like, we have for like 6 years watched Odo pine after this woman, and we weren't quite good enough at writing to get to the point where their relationship was meaningful enough and he felt safe enough in it to actually express his feelings to her, or grew just like a little bit of a spine, you know? Ironic because he's a changeling and he can grow a spine. And so this whole episode feels like, oops, we forgot to develop this character at all, but we still want him to get the girl. And that's what really like kind of bothers me just about the construct of this episode in general, is we've put all of we've externalized all of Odo's character development to this far more interesting hologram. Yeah,
that's true.
So that's really where I come up against the writing, but it's hard because I don't. The episode itself is still perfectly watchable. Like, again, the dialogue's fine. There are some funny moments. Yeah.
Are we feeling like a mid 5, or are you feeling just below 5?
I'm feeling a little bit below 5. I'm at like a 4.
Like a 4. I think that's right.
Yeah.
Next, we got the direction. How it's shot, how it's edited, all that kind of good stuff. Can't really remember anything that stands out to me in that way.
I mean, I think the only time we do something really different is when Kira starts singing There's a Spotlight. So the lighting of the room changes, but otherwise it's very par for the course Star Trek stuff, Deep Space Nine stuff, a lot of static cams, a lot of sort of like everything is in this very weird sort of taupey color palette.
Yeah,
There's a lot of taupe on this show.
Yeah. The only thing I can say, and I keep coming back to this is that those jazz musicians are playing those instruments, or at least they're simulating it enough that it looks real. But all of those hits that the drummer make are right. All of those, the fingering positions for the bassist and the guitarist are right. So that's interesting to me. Like, were they playing that live? Is that part of direction? I think.
I think so. And I think we'll give it credit for that. Because at the very least, I mean, our direction category is a little bit
broader.
Like, broad, because we count cinematography and editing, which are components of something a director sometimes has an say in, right? But because of that, either they're playing live, which is amazing, or the editor is a genius.
Yeah.
And should have won an Emmy.
Yeah, exactly.
Either way, we can get points for it here.
Sure. Okay. That's all I've got for it, though.
Yeah, it wasn't overly exciting. I don't know. I'm thinking kind of like a 6.
6? Yeah, just above mid. I think that's right.
Yeah. Okay, commitment. How much do they commit to the concept of the musical? Not much.
Not much at all for me.
Yeah.
Like you said, I had the exact same idea as you. If Kira didn't sing in this episode, I don't know if I'd call it a musical episode.
Yeah.
But because she does, I think I do.
Yeah, because she does, and like the sheer number of other songs. Yeah. But barely. Whoo boy. In terms of like commitment, right, we don't really have, we have like one little dance, which we talked about. Only Kira sings. None of the rest of our main cast do. In fact, most of our main cast are MIA for 98% of the episode. Yeah. We kind of get cameos from most people at top, and then they had the week off. We like really just sit with Odo. So in terms of like bringing your cast in terms of making this like a big moment for everyone and involving everyone, that really doesn't seem to be the case. We outsourced our character development and our singing onto another person.
Yep.
In a pretty major way.
Yeah, I think it could be framed potentially as commitment to create a new character in this universe just to have a musical episode, but I think it more takes away from it, right? I'd rather see your casting.
I think so too, yeah. I'd much rather see Bashir sing a little song about being a doctor.
Yeah.
That would have been a million times more interesting than anything Vic Fontaine can do, because what happens is when we introduce a new character, I don't get any, and this goes into stakes a bit, but I'm now introduced to a whole new person, a whole new set of stakes. It's not one of these people I've been with for the last like 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
And so it just sort of takes away from that commitment score for me. So for me, this is pretty fucking low.
Yeah.
And this is almost not a musical episode.
Yeah. I think like 2 or 3, kind of.
2, dude.
2.
It's a 2.
Yeah. I think that's right. Stakes is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
We did take 6 seasons for these guys to kiss.
We did.
So there's something in that.
There is. There definitely is.
I think that's all we can say for it, though. You would actually know way better about this than I would. So I'll default to you.
No, that's pretty much, I mean, at this point in the show, there's a lot going on. This episode doesn't deal with any of those things. This episode is, I mean, one of the things you and I talk about this all the time. One of the things I miss about 22 episode orders, 24 episode orders, is that you can't have whole episodes that are just dedicated to character development and do not advance the larger plot. And I really fucking miss that, actually.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And this is one of those. Like, there are things going on. There are like major things going on, but even in like Kira's life, but it's not happening right now. This is just an emotional, all the stakes for this are in the emotional development.
Which is fine, though. I mean, that still is
which
stakes,
is totally fine.
Right?
Totally fine. That can still be a 10 because those are high stakes, right? And yeah, these two people do kiss. Someone in the writer's room has been waiting 6 years for this, not me.
Do they go on to like have a relationship after that? Like,
they do.
Yeah.
And it sucks. It just blows.
So, I mean, I think stakes are there, right? I think even more so than most other episodes we've watched, that they make a game-changing moment happen in this episode. It just might feel cosmically small in the fights that Star Trek.
No, I think that's true. So yeah, I do think the stakes are there.
A 7?
Yeah.
Classic 7.
Classic 7. Our fallback number.
All right, personal ranking. Now, this is actually kind of interesting for me because I was thinking that our personal ranking would be divisive, but I think actually it's more that our general vibe is divisive. I had fun watching this episode, but I don't think it's a good musical episode. So, and I always think of personal ranking of like how good of an episode, a good of a musical episode do I think this is? And I think that number is kind of low for me, actually.
Yeah, I think it's hard to separate sometimes, but I think that's why we have the general vibe category, is so that you can separate out how good you felt about it versus how good it is. Because on things like this, maybe, and in a very different way, things like Riverdale, like you can have a great time, just not make it good TV.
Yeah,
Those
exactly.
are different things.
Exactly right. I have my number. I'm sure you have yours.
Yeah, I've got my number.
Want to count us down?
Yeah. 3, 2, 1.
3.
1.
Yeah, that sounds right. So we got a 2. A 2 on the personal ranking. Have we done that before?
2. Absolutely brutal. Wow, I don't even have to move it in the chart because out of the 26 episodes we've done, this comes in at number 26.
I'm actually kind of sad that Ally McBeal is not the last place
I'm
anymore.
A little sad.
I love Ally McBeal.
Yeah, Ally McBeal's The Musical Almost has now bumped up to second to last, which is huge for Ally McBeal.
Yeah, a total of 43.5 points is wild.
43.5. Ally McBeal had 47.5. Leagues ahead of this. And, you know, for all that was the vibe on that was worse. That But it was more entertaining. We were never bored during Ally McBeal.
I love that Ally McBeal episode. If we could redo our scores, I would bump that so much higher, just in hindsight joy of watching that episode. But it's a bad episode.
It's bad TV. We can't get around that. But boy, did it rip in a way that this one just didn't. Real race for the bottom this season. And so far, Star Trek Deep Space Nine is leading that charge.
We'll see if there's any more upsets. Next week, we'll see you once more with Season 1, Episode 12B of Animaniacs, entitled West Side Pigeons.
You can find this episode on the internet somewhere.
Thank you, as always, to Olivia Braslovsky, our angelic audio architect, and to Sakina Powell, our magnificent marketing maven.
If you like the show, please be sure to rate and review us. And if you don't, keep it to yourself. You can find us on Instagram at Once More with TV, or contact us using the information in the show notes.
And scene.